Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Olivia's Obscura. Olivia Obscura. I'm your host, Olivia, and I'm here today with my sister, my very special guest, Avery.
Hi, it's me, Sister Avery.
Avery.
I'm really excited to be here.
Is that what they call Mormon missionaries, sisters?
Yeah.
When you're a girl?
Yeah.
You are like sister, you'd be Sister Stoper. I would also be Sister
Yeah, and then
Stoper.
the boys are brothers, I think.
No, I think they're elders.
Oh.
I think the boys get to be elders and the girls are sisters.
Misogyny.
Short. One of me and Ty's favorite bits is to call massage therapists misogynists.
Licensed misogynist.
Licensed misogynist. Board certified.
Board certified misogynist.
We come to you today from the stew, which is the garage in our Palm Springs rental vacation Verbo. We're in Palm Springs. Avery and my parents, our parents.
Your parents.
And our grandparents and our aunt and uncle and Ty are all here this weekend because it was our dad's 60th birthday. Mm-hmm. Very special stuff.
The big 6-0.
The big 6-0. He makes 60 look great. Maybe we could get him on for a second.
Oh, that would be...
He could come and say hi.
That would be awesome.
Maybe he'll come out because this is his bathroom out here.
Oh, yeah.
So he might come out.
His private bathroom.
So we're in the garage, and the garage is kind of... I think the acoustics are pretty good, so I hope this sounds good. Mm-hmm. But there's foosball. There's... What is that called?
It's like a basketball,
it's like
arcade game.
Yeah, it's like a basketball arcade game. Excellent. There's a poker table similar to the one that was in Beautiful Disaster, except unlike that one, this one is not a dining table that flips into a poker table. It's just a poker table. And then what was he playing on that computer?
I think Mario.
There's
something.
A gaming computer in the garage that only has one game.
I don't know what Mario's game is called.
I looked like he was playing Pac-Man.
Maybe it was Pac-Man.
It could have been.
Maybe it has more than one game.
And there's a piano.
Yeah.
And a crapper. And that's
and
the
a
garage.
washer and dryer.
And a washer and dryer. And so we're out here recording because I really wanted to have Avery on the pod, and we're never in the same state. So
I'm so excited to take this opportunity to be on a podcast.
It's really special.
Yeah, I've never been on a podcast before.
Well,
so
it's listened to by dozens.
Yeah, this is huge for me. So
huge. So my audience of 24 is gonna really eat this up. Mm-hmm. Avery, I think I've mentioned her on the pod before, but if not, then that is my sister, my younger sister.
I think you mentioned me in the episode where you were reading your old diary entries because one of them just said today is Avery's 8th birthday. And you didn't read anything after that, but if I had to guess, I would guess you wrote something mean after that.
No, that was the entry.
That was it?
I remember it. It was literally it was a page and I had written, it was like I had trailed off.
Mm-hmm. It just said today is Avery's 8th birthday.
Because underneath it was a drawing. I don't know what
I love that was important enough to go in your journal.
And this is what I struggle with even as an adult because my therapist tells me to journal, but I kind of don't.
They love to tell you that, yeah.
But I don't really process things well writing-wise. Because every time I go to journal, even as an adult with complex feelings, I just revert back to Dear Diary, today I went to blah, blah, blah.
The same thing happens to me.
I only know how to journal in chronological, autobiographical form of telling you the details about my day, which is not the kind of journaling my therapist wants.
Well, because I think that for a lot of people, it's not just easy for you to take your complex thoughts and put them into writing. There's a whole other step that you have to go through. That's why it's it's easier to talk than to write it down.
Right, or I think some people are better oral processors than writing processors, but I'm not good at journaling.
Writing processors.
Avery, is there anything any orders of business you need to address right off the top?
I don't think so. I've been told that there was an agenda
for the podcast. Agenda.
So I'm just here. I'm just along for the ride.
We have a really loose agenda. I like to have some bullet points to kind of keep us but really this is a stream of consciousness conversational podcast.
I'm sure some things will come up for me that I'll need to discuss.
So if we get cooking, let it cook, okay?
Okay.
Let it cook. Yeah, perfect. So I guess wait, are there any orders of business I need to talk about? Last week I took the week off, sorry. I'm still getting used to having a job because I work 20 hours a week at a chiropractor's office now, which is proving to be too much for me to manage to record the podcast. So I just didn't get around to that last week, but hopefully I'm back on the every week schedule. There are no new 5-star reviews to read this week, which is a fucking shame. So let's change that for next week. You haven't written a review yet.
I haven't written a review yet. I'm going to.
I'm going to take your phone and write it.
Am I allowed to now that I've been on? Or is that like a conflict of interest?
Oh, no. That's not a conflict of interest.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Okay.
On the Apple podcast. Do you listen to podcasts on Spotify?
I use Spotify.
You do use Spotify. So you can't write a review
but
on Spotify.
I'll go leave one on Apple Podcasts.
Thank you so
I'll
much.
do that for you.
I really appreciate that.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Okay, the first order of business on the agenda today is the concept. We kind of touched on it last night when we were watching Baywatch, but I had it on the agenda before then, which is the idea of beauty inflation and how beautiful people in the 90s are ugly by today's standards.
This is a great topic. Okay.
So what I kind of was thinking is now everyone has the same teeth. Mm-hmm. And when you watch movies from the 90s or even the 2000s, people have real teeth.
Yes.
But now everyone just has square chiclet teeth.
Yes.
They all have veneers.
Well, and also when you see pictures of famous people from the 80s and 90s, people who were considered some of the most beautiful people in Hollywood back then, I feel in the photos you could see the pores on their face.
Correct.
You could see that maybe they had some pieces of hair that were out of place.
Yes.
Their eyebrows all looked different. Their skin wasn't necessarily just one solid sheet of the same color.
Yeah, and
people used to look more like people.
They look like individuals because I think now the difference is that in the 90s everyone had a different face. Mm-hmm. But I feel now kind of everyone has the same face.
Yes, and I think that when people talk about Instagram face, what they're really talking about is this subtle shift towards everybody having the same face.
Yes. Yes, because everyone goes and shows the same picture to their surgeon.
Yes.
Or everyone in Hollywood probably goes to the same
surgeon.
People
used to look different.
Yes.
But now they look the same.
Right. Even, what were we, who, Baywatch?
Baywatch,
Shawnee
yeah.
Has a full-on unibrow.
Correct. She had very unruly hair. She had a unibrow. She had a very unique face.
Yes, and she's beautiful.
She's a gorgeous, gorgeous woman. But I just don't see someone like that becoming famous in the way that she was.
She could never do it today. No.
And it's it's sad.
It is sad.
Yeah.
Because a while ago, and I talked about this on the podcast, but I was watching for the first time Mr. and Mrs. Smith, a classic. Mm-hmm. And Angelina Jolie is literally one of the most beautiful women ever.
Correct.
But in that movie, she still looked like a person.
Yeah.
And I feel that the problem now with celebrities is that they don't look like people.
Exactly.
And when you were out on a walk earlier, we were watching the SAG Awards.
Oh, yeah.
And Lily Gladstone won for Killers of the Flower Moon. Mm-hmm. And she was beautiful.
Yeah.
But she looked like a person.
Correct.
Yes. And she looked like a person.
I feel the same way about her. And I feel the reason why people have become so infatuated with her, aside from the fact that she's a really phenomenal actress, is the fact that she it looks like a person, you know what I mean?
She looks like a person.
Yeah.
She's not 13 pounds.
Yeah.
She has I don't know, she was just cute. She had her hair styled. It looked like she did her styling at home.
Yeah.
It was not at home, but it didn't look like she had a glam squad.
Yeah.
That did a full beat to the
Correct.
heavens.
People used to look like they got ready at home. Maybe,
Right, maybe.
Yeah.
Yes, plausible.
And that's also why I feel I was just talking about this movie. I know that you haven't seen it, but I feel a big part of the draw of the Academy Award nominated film The Holdovers is that all of those people look real. That guy I just showed you that picture of, Dominic Sessa, that's like a boy. That's like a boy.
Can I look him up real quick?
Yeah.
Dominic Sessa. Yes. Oh, he's only 21.
He's so cute, and he's antithetical to Instagram face. Like, that's just a guy.
Yes, he is an individual.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like...
And I love it.
Yeah, well, and the thing is that, not to get too into it, but boys are allowed to be a little ugly.
That's true.
In the way that women never are.
Women never are, and I feel like it's even less now than they used to be. Like, obviously people were dealing with like different beauty standards like in the 80s and 90s, but I feel like women have never been allowed to be a little ugly.
Women have never, no.
And like there is a real cultural moment now with people being really into men that are a little bit ugly, like or not ugly, but like unique looking, like Jeremy Allen White or like
Jeremy Allen White
Barry
is a great
Keoghan. You know, like people who look a little bit funny.
Yes.
But where are my funny looking girls?
I think that like we love Jeremy Allen White because he looks like a guy you could like. That is a guy who does look like he's the line cook at your restaurant.
Correct. Like that man works at a gas station. And that's what makes him so hot.
Correct, because you can see him walking down the street.
Yes.
There's something attainable about him.
Yes.
That's really alluring.
And like there is something so fundamentally unsexy about people who look artificial and like not real.
Yeah, like we've hit that point of like uncanny valley with like Zac Efron, for example.
Yeah.
Where like he like obviously was born hot.
Yeah.
But then he like, I mean, I could talk about the perils of Zac Efron for hours. like Hollywood ruined him.
Yeah.
I need Zac Efron to just go and live on like a farm with some goats.
I would love that for him.
But yeah, like it's kind of, I think uncanny valley is like not the right word. Because it's like people look human, but they all kind of have the same nose. They have the same eyebrows. They have the same lips. It's crazy.
And it's like it's unsexy.
It's like because it's like too polished.
Correct, exactly.
And then, okay,
I think we're getting at the same thing here.
We're getting at the exact same thing here, and like,
and I'm in complete agreement with your idea of beauty inflation.
Yes,
it's all connected.
I thought of this a few days ago, because I was watching a TikTok that some lady had made, and she even said that like she was making like really good points, but one of them she brought up was even like people's teeth didn't used to be like blinding white.
Yeah.
Like now everyone's teeth are like white,
and
white,
it freaks me out. It
and
freaks me out.
Real.
They don't look real.
Right.
And there is something, at least to me, and I feel like to a lot of people, something like that gives you, I don't know, like something attractive about like having teeth that look a little bit fucked up. Like I personally love like fucked up teeth.
Yeah. Well, because it's like, like the same reason that I love like a good like Roman nose.
Yeah.
Like that is like, I hate it when people who have like big noses say they want a nose job, because that would actually ruin their face.
Yes.
Like Molly Ringwald did that, right?
Yes, and it was Jennifer Grey from Dirty Dancing.
Jennifer Grey.
Her nose was like so
she had an iconic
distinctive
nose, and she was so cute.
Yeah, she was adorable.
But now she just has that same nose that everyone has, and she doesn't even look
Hollywood
like her.
ruined her. Another victim.
And like, wait, do you remember how Taylor Swift used to have a chipped tooth right here?
Yes.
And then she got it fixed.
Yes.
And everyone was sad.
Yes.
Because we loved her chipped tooth. We lost another one to the machine. We lost her a long time ago to the machine, I fear.
But no, this is something important that we need to. Why isn't everybody talking about this?
Why isn't everyone talking about it? And like, we are at a crucial, I think, a paradigm shift of men, where men now, you are right, the Jeremy Allen Whites, the Barry Keogans of the world, where we're having like a renaissance of like, I hazard to call them ugly men.
I don't think they're ugly. Yeah,
smash.
Exactly.
But like compared to like a Brad Pitt,
like exactly
like unique. We're having like, I'm gonna just for succinctness, we're gonna call them ugly men.
Yeah, like men who don't look like you're like typical Hollywood star.
Right.
Yeah.
And so when are women gonna have that chance?
No, exactly. Because like you look at the women who are like, you know, up and coming today, like it's like, I don't know, like Sydney Sweeney, who else?
Sydney Sweeney is like the only Hollywood star that I can think of right now.
But like she's got Instagram face. Like all respect to her, like Sydney, I love you. She's beautiful, but
if she wants to come on the podcast, she could.
She's a friend of the pod, Sydney Sweeney.
Do you listen to the podcast Beyond the Blinds?
No.
Okay, I love that podcast. But a few months ago, I don't know when this was, but one episode they were like, what, like, I think they were talking about Pam Anderson, and they were like, Pam Anderson was like such a boob girl.
It all comes back to Baywatch.
It does. And they were like, we don't have like a boob girl now. And I was screaming, I was like,
Sydney Sweeney.
Sydney Sweeney is
what do you mean we don't have a boob girl?
Like she's the boob. She has the market cornered when it comes to being a boob girl.
Yeah. Okay. Like we've got that covered. Now we need some like weird looking women.
We do,
you know?
and I love it when they let a weird girl be famous.
Yes.
Like, I love it when I'm trying to think of who.
Well, like, obviously, like, I think she's gorgeous. Like, I think most people think she's gorgeous, but, like, an unconventional looking woman like Jenny Slate, you know? Like, she doesn't look like your typical Hollywood woman.
No, yes, I love
like,
her.
we need more Jenny Slates in the world.
I've been told that I sound like Jenny Slate.
I think you do.
Do you?
Kind of. Uh-huh.
And my old coworker always told me that I sounded like Nikki Glazer.
I don't know who that is.
She does F-Boy Island.
I don't know what that is.
It's a show, but I don't know either. She's like a comedian. But I think it's just because I think that men just think that like all funny women sound the same. Or like low-voiced girls
It's
sound
the
the same.
rasp. It's that rasp.
I think so.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, like I do like, me and Ty, whenever we like see like a weird looking girl in something, we're like, we love that. We want weird girls in everything.
Let her cook. Exactly.
Let
like,
her
I
cook.
love weird girls.
Like, I even think that, well, she got some work done, but Anya Taylor-Joy used to be a weird looking girl.
I was just thinking about Anya Taylor-Joy. Like, in the very beginning of her career, like, that was a weird looking woman. And, like, I say that in the best way possible.
And that's why she got her roles.
Exactly.
You have to be an individual. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of more. I'm having a really hard time thinking of women right now.
Name a woman.
I can't. I literally can't.
Sometimes they'll let weird girls be models. Like Ella M. Hoff.
Yeah, like high fashion models.
Yeah.
But we need to bring them into the
But
mainstream.
they're not allowed to be in movies.
Put weird girls in movies. I'm literally begging you.
We need a weird girl influencer. That's an untapped market.
I could be the first.
We could be the first. We could be trailblazers.
Weird girl influencers.
Weird girl influencers. And well, no companies would want to send us stuff.
No.
So it wouldn't be. We wouldn't be able to hack it.
Oh, I think they would.
But this Twisted Tea is really good.
Twisted Tea on the rocks. So this is really your first time having Twisted Tea.
I actually don't think I've ever had one before.
I love it. I think it tastes so delicious.
I've had it actually tastes almost identical to like a Sonic sweet tea.
Yeah.
And you know how they put that delicious ice in it? Yeah. Like this over that
Popcorn
ice. You can get a little maker that makes that ice.
Really?
Yeah, and like put it. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Ty's sister has one.
Oh wow.
It's like this little like countertop appliance.
Oh, I would love that.
That like makes popcorn ice. And she just like eats it all day.
I love that kind of ice.
It's really good. You used to be able to go to Sonic and buy that ice.
I think you still can.
I just never go to
It's kind of
Sonic.
embarrassing to just like ask for a bag of ice.
There is something so mortifying about that. What are things? Okay, here's a good question. What are things that you do that you feel embarrassed doing, but like aren't embarrassing, but like you feel embarrassed
This
about
is
it?
not a great question for me because that kind of applies to everything.
I'm
for
also
me.
embarrassed about everything.
But a thing that really gets me isn't as big of a deal now that I'm like not in college, but there was like a stretch of time at college when I had to take lunch for the day because I like had class and then work and then class again.
Oh, like in a lunchbox.
Yes, and the act of carrying a lunchbox made me want to kill myself. So humiliating. I don't know why. That was, and like the thing is, I can trace this back years. Like I recall being mortified to carry a lunchbox in like middle and high school as well.
Oh, there's something so juvenile about it.
Exactly. It's like, what am I, 5?
It's so silly.
So silly.
It's like, yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah.
Well, in that similar vein, because I just started a job for the first time, and like an outside of the house job. And there's something like so humiliating about like eating a snack.
Yes.
Like
yes.
when I'm eating it, because I'm like at the front desk and I'm like eating like a protein bar or something,
Humiliating.
or like a chomp like stick or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like literally like they can't see me eat.
I'm with you on that
They
one.
can't know that I eat.
But then you like end up trying to eat in this like secretive way that nobody else can see.
Yeah, and
but
like
then
that's weird.
If someone does see you eating like sneakily, like that makes it even more embarrassing.
You make it weird. Exactly. Like if I just ate it with confidence, it wouldn't be a problem.
No, I'm with you on that. That's really embarrassing.
You need
There's
to, like,
more.
If you lead with confidence, nothing is embarrassing. But I actually think that I've led with confidence maybe 5 times.
I've never led with confidence.
Because there is. I heard someone talk about the Monroe effect.
As in Marilyn?
As in Marilyn.
Okay.
As in Marilyn Manson.
In Marilyn Manson?
But What's that noise?
I think it's the table.
I'm going to scoot it up because I don't want the mic to pick that sound up.
We can't have this happen.
We can't be having that. Which is just the theory. The Monroe effect is the theory that, like, if you walk into a room, like commanding the room, like, people will just, like, assume that you're, like, a figure of authority or, like, someone who, like, is cool. I just, like, don't think that I'm good at that.
No, exactly. I think that's entirely true, but it's just not, like, an ability that I think I possess.
Carrying a lunchbox is a really astute observation that is embarrassing.
And I feel like there's so many more.
I feel like there's many more too, but I, like, should have been, this kind of just came up as a question right now, but I should have been keeping a list because there's so many things that are so humiliating to do. Like, getting out of a pool.
Oh, yeah.
Getting out of a pool is so
Oh, you know what? I don't know if anyone else will relate to this. But no, I'm with you on getting out of a pool because, like, there's also no way to, like, look sexy while doing that.
No.
You just don't look good. But, in this same vein, I used to live right next to a Market of Choice. It was, like, in the same parking lot as my apartment complex. And, like, several times a week, I would want to go to the Market of Choice and, like, get one of those, like, custom-made sandwiches where you could, like, pick the things to go on your sandwich.
Ooh, yes. And because the Market of Choice makes good sandwiches.
They were delicious. They had, like, the best salami.
Is the Market of Choice only in Oregon?
Yes, actually, the first Market of Choice ever was in Eugene. Fun fact.
Hi! Do you want to say hi? Okay.
But anyway, I used to go there at least once a week to get myself a little sandwich. And for some reason, the act of, like, getting that little paper, getting the little pencil, writing down the ingredients that I wanted, putting the paper on the counter, and then just, like, waiting for my sandwich made me, like, so embarrassed.
No, and I get that.
Because, like, if I would ever, like, make eye contact with the person who would be making the sandwich, like, while I was giving them my paper,
yes,
I might as well just call it a day because, like, that was terrible.
How dare the person you're paying to make your sandwich see your sandwich order?
No, exactly. It was
horrifying. It's the worst thing ever.
That was, like, a big part of my life for a while, like, how embarrassed I was to, like,
that's a really niche one. I like, because my coffee order is an iced Americano extra ice light water, and there is, like, when I hear myself order that, it makes me want to die.
Even though it's, like, that's really not a high maintenance order at all. It's like ice, espresso, and water.
No, it's, like, literally the easiest drink you can make. But the fact that I'm, like, any sort of, like, specifications are embarrassing.
Yeah.
Modifications.
Yeah.
And I think that might be, like, a traumatic holdover from working as a barista.
Because you would get so annoyed by people who had all these special modifications.
Yeah, but I would have never been annoyed by someone who asked for an iced Americano extra ice light water.
No, that's, like, really normal.
But, like, I think that I, like, just conflate that with the people who ask for, like, 250 degrees, no foam, whole milk, 20 pumps of chai or whatever.
The specific number for temperature degrees is always what really signaled to me that, like, someone was a real bitch,
well, it's literally so weird, and it's always, like, the oldest lady you've ever seen.
Like, can you really tell?
I want to know, like, is she whipping out a thermometer?
Exactly.
Like, there was this lady, her name was Sheila. And was it Sheila or was it Patty?
Enemy of the pod.
It was one of those. She was actually really nice.
Okay.
And she just had a really annoying drink. Okay. But it was like, what it was like, how long did you work at Starbucks?
Like, literally 2 months.
That's actually longer than I thought. I thought it was like 4 weeks.
No, it was like 2 months.
Okay, so, like, because what was really annoying was when people asked for super hot, no foam, whole milk. Because whole milk foams so
it makes the most beautiful foam.
It makes beautiful foam.
But it's almost really hard to not foam it. Yeah.
To not want that foam is, like, really sad.
No foam is just a depressing modification to ask for in your drink because, like, why don't you want, like, the delicious milk foam?
Which is the point of a latte.
Exactly.
And you would get shot in Italy if you asked for a no foam.
You're right.
Because you want to know what it is? I think that it's Americans thinking they're getting quote-unquote ripped off by having foam.
Yeah. Which is a part of the drink.
Which is a part of the drink.
That's also how I feel about people ordering drinks without ice.
Ice.
Like, that makes me so upset because, like, where's the joy in an iceless drink?
Yes.
But you're just you think you're getting ripped off by having ice take up room in your drink.
And it's like, no, like, that's a crucial ingredient.
That's what makes it cold.
Right, like, I even get light ice to snack, which I can't really do. Like, I obviously order extra ice.
Yeah, I love ice.
Well, okay, because when I worked at Lofty, or I don't know if I can say the name on here.
When you worked at,
I think I called it Breezy.
Breezy, you did.
But cat's out of the bag.
You could just bleep it out. Like, it's a swear word.
I'll probably just leave it in, to be honest with you.
not like you're disparaging them.
No, but we like had the drinks there had like extremely specific measurements. Like,
I bet.
We had scales, and so like for like we did like an iced London fog, for example, and we like had to put it on the scale and measure out the amount of milk we were putting in and measure the amount of like tea concentrate we were putting in.
Yee, the scale?
Like, on like a kitchen scale.
That's so like eating disorder core.
Yeah, like by the grams. It really is. Yes, but when people asked for extra or no ice, we like, because we like, we're all like bitches, miserable bitches, we like hated everything.
For sure.
We were always like, sure, you can have no ice, but like, because of the way that the drinks were measured, they just got a cup that was like half empty.
Because you didn't know like what to put in the rest of the cup. Because you like didn't know how to adjust the scale.
Well, we couldn't.
Yeah.
Like there was like, that was the recipe. And it was like one of those coffee shops where everything only came in one size.
Oh yeah,
Like,
I remember. I think I
order-
went there once or twice.
We went one time when I worked there and you visited. Because we went to the beach and then we went and got coffee.
I remember.
But yeah, so we would, when people asked for no ice in their drink, we'd give them like a 3/4 cup full.
That'll show
drink.
them.
Yeah, and then they were always like pissed, obviously.
Yeah.
Like, like why wouldn't you be?
Obviously.
I'd be mad too. That's what you get for not having ice. Where does the door behind you go? Outside?
I think it goes outside.
But not to the patio. To the little alleyway?
I think just to the alleyway.
Where that guy, the Uber driver
Yeah,
was
where
earlier.
the Uber driver was.
Earlier we were outside eating dinner and there was this, all of a sudden these headlights were like shining into the backyard and our mom got up and was like, you got the wrong house, and the guy just went, Uber driver. And she was like, yeah, like that's not the
It's very funny.
I mean, alternatively, to kind of piggyback on the embarrassing thing, like getting an Uber is really
Oh,
embarrassing.
humiliating.
Riding in an Uber is embarrassing.
Oh, yeah.
It's always like the things that I'm paying someone to do a service for me for, like, is always the most embarrassing thing.
Yes,
even though they're being compensated.
There's something so embarrassing about having someone else perform a service for you.
Yeah, it's like, what am I? Like,
Exactly,
like, what is this?
I don't know if that's like a side effect of like, I wonder if rich people feel this. I feel like they probably don't, but I wonder if that's maybe like has to do with like having worked in the service
Is it like
industry.
a class solidarity thing?
Yeah, maybe.
Of, like,
I don't know.
We've like worked in service, and so we like don't want to be a burden to people.
No,
who work
I
in
feel like
service.
that's definitely part of it.
That's
I
absolutely.
feel like that's part of why it feels like so shameful to like have someone do something else for you, like even if you're paying them for it.
No, like that's an affliction of mine. Like my waiter could actually, like, I cannot relate to ever sending back a dish.
No, what?
Like my waiter could like, who are we talking? What were we talking about the other day? Where I said the bartenders are so mean, but it makes me want to tip them more because I need to prove that I'm good.
Oh yeah,
The Ken Club in San Diego. You've never been there.
okay, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, but the bartenders are miserable and always like so mean. And Ty was like, "Yeah, it makes me not want to tip." And I was like, "Oh, it has the opposite effect on me, where I want to tip more to prove to them that I'm the good customer."
So that they'll hate you less.
Yeah. Like I always have to be the best customer that someone's had that day.
Yeah.
Which
no,
is
yeah, I feel that. I do.
A tough hat to wear.
Someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. Should we move on to the next item on the agenda?
Yeah, what's the next
Okay,
item?
well, the next item on the agenda that I want to talk about is Cruel Intentions.
Oh, great.
I love Cruel Intentions. I watched that movie for the first time when I lived in my first apartment in Beaverton. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, you lived there that was a very, well, it actually wasn't janky. It was really nice.
It was
but
actually, it was just
you
like,
only lived there for a couple of months.
like, yeah, like 4 months. But I watched it there and I remember being like, what the fuck? Like, this movie is incredible. And then I watched it again with Montana a couple months ago, and she like wasn't really into it at first, but then she got to the end and like it was sealed. Like,
Oh yeah.
Because the bittersweet symphony of it all is like
The
really
bittersweet
insane.
symphony of it all is.
Wait, okay, spoilers if you haven't seen Cruel Intentions, but I just want to kind of talk about this unfiltered.
Yeah.
What happens? I'm trying to remember the end because something happens at the funeral.
Well, at the funeral, right? Because
Doesn't she like hand out papers that
yeah,
say?
she hands out copies of his like sex journal.
Yes.
To get which really struck me as a very funny plot point because like Reese Witherspoon distributed, what was his name? Sebastian. She distributed like this like weird sex journal that he had as a way to get revenge on his sister, Sarah Michelle Gellar. I forgot her name.
Yes.
Which is really funny because like she hands out his sex journal and like of course that's gonna do damage to her reputation, but like it's not damaging like the reputation of the guy who like kept a sex journal. Like
Right, that's a really good point. Well, he's dead.
I guess
I guess you can't get revenge on a dead guy.
I guess
You can.
Yeah, but I feel like they thought
like,
they didn't care.
Everything about that movie is like iconic, and I don't think that movie could not be made today.
Because it's very steeped in the culture of the time that it was made.
Yes.
Like, there's no way that movie would be made today.
No, what is Selma Blair's girl? What's her name?
Cecile. Cecile.
And the whole plot with her like cello teacher.
Yeah.
And the issue in the movie was that the mom didn't like that he was black.
Correct.
And I'm like, it's not the fact that he's 25.
No, it was the fact that he was black.
Because Cecile was going into high school, right? She
was about to start high school.
She was an eighth grader going
which
into
makes
high school.
her what, 14?
You are 14 when you're going into high school.
And I believe canonically the cello teacher was in college, right?
So even if he's 18, that's super fucking weird.
That's super fucking weird because like you're a legal adult in college.
He definitely seemed older than 18 too.
Yeah. Well, Selma Blair was I think 26 in that movie, like when she played that role.
Really? Because she looked so young.
I know she did look 14. But I think she was quite old.
Too.
Yeah, she was great in that role.
My next question for you is: did you think Ryan Phillippe was hot at all in that movie?
Yes.
You did.
Yes.
Interesting, because I find him to be like repulsive.
He is repulsive, but I don't know. I think it might have been those tiny little like wire rimmed glasses they had him wearing were just really like kind of doing it for me. Like I definitely didn't think he was hot at first, but
I think like, this is him now. I think he's actually hot now. Like that's someone who needed to age a little bit, like a wand.
Oh yeah, he looks good now.
But yeah, like what the hell? And that scene when him and Reese Witherspoon are in the car and she's like making faces at him.
And that's what got him. That's what won him over. It's very funny because like we're supposed to believe that he like this guy who's like allegedly like so fucked up in the head and like only likes to manipulate people like has actually fallen in love with her, but like what made him fall in love with her was like her making faces,
her like putting her fingers on her head and like sticking her tongue out and going like
there's absolutely no development to that relationship whatsoever.
It's so that movie is crazy.
I love it.
And the fact that Ryan Phillippe and Sarah Michelle Gellar want to fuck.
Yes.
Hey. No. Do you need to be out here though?
No, I just need to turn the dryer on and start the washer.
I'll turn it on when we get out.
You just let me know because there's towels that go in.
Oh, okay. Huh?
Okay.
Yes, it's the fact that they want to fuck, and then what was it? She said they were making this bet, right? The bet is like the framework for the movie.
And bet movies are just a whole thing.
Bet movies are so good.
We could talk about She's All That.
You talk about She's All That.
You could talk about
10 Things I Hate About You. Those are all bet movies.
After is famously a bet movie.
After is a bet movie. Yeah,
it's a bet series.
But yeah, the fact that the whole thing is that they want to fuck, and that's like the driving force of the movie. And that specifically, he can put it wherever he wants.
You're right, that is it. He can put it wherever he wants. Because that is the craziest movie ever. Who made that movie?
Well, the director was the same director as Beautiful Disaster.
When you told me that, I nearly, my wig flew
Let me
off.
tell you, because I saw that movie for the first time about a week ago. I was watching this, I was like, there's something so delectable about this movie in the fact that the dialogue is just like, listen, I was like, I know it's from the 90s, but I'm positive that people didn't speak like this in the 90s either. Like, no one has ever had a conversation that sounded like this.
It's like theatrical.
Exactly. It's like Shakespearean.
The girl in Tenders is famously an iambic pentameter.
It should be. So then when I ran over to Letterboxd and I see the director Roger Kumble, I'm like, Roger Kumble, that sounds familiar. And I see that he is none other than the director of Beautiful Disaster. And suddenly everything made so much sense.
Oh my
What a career.
God.
What a career.
I can't believe that he did those. Because I loved those movies separately.
And Beautiful Disaster was also a bet movie.
You're right.
That's like his whole thing.
Well, okay. Taylor was telling me that she read the Beautiful Disaster book series, which I think is like so mentally unwell of her.
I think she read them when she was like 13.
Oh, okay.
But yes, and like everyone's mentally unwell when they're 13. So yeah.
That one TikTok trend a while ago that was like the unbreakable bond between a girl and the mediocre book series she read in 7th grade.
Yeah.
What was yours?
Well, that's such a good question. What was yours?
Okay, the ones that come off like the top of my head the quickest, and this was I was in like elementary school, but it was those books that were like 11, 12, and like 13.
Yes. They all had this weird kind of like science fiction twist to them, right?
No, it was just like girls who like this girl. I think her name was Winnie.
I'm thinking of what was it? It was like 11 birthdays or something, where this girl like kept living her 11th birthday over and over.
Yes,
I
read that once. Yeah.
But yes, 11, 12, and 13. Those were actually very sweet and wholesome.
I loved them.
I
read them over and over and over and over.
I think for me, it was this book series called the Mother-Daughter Book Club, which
Googling
followed this group of this like friend group of girls who were like in a book club like with their moms. And like every book was like inspired by like a piece of classic literature. Like those were also very wholesome and sweet. Like there was like nothing mentally unwell about them, but those really really stuck with me. I loved those books.
Wait, I've never even heard of these books.
They were really cute.
I remember the cover.
Like, they were adorable.
I remember seeing them like around the house. Okay, did you ever read that book that was, I think it was a series, but I'm pretty sure it was a little science fiction-y. Well, like very much so. But it was like this girl like got her like brain transplanted into like a supermodel's body.
This does not ring a bell.
I need to look this up real quick.
Is this real?
It was like a young adult like fiction brain transplant. Is what I'm Googling. Airhead. It was called Airhead.
Can I see the cover?
Yeah, it's by Meg Cabot.
That cover I do recognize.
Here, let me read you the synopsis. What the fuck? I actually just thought of this right now for the first time in a long time. Emerson M. Watts accompanies her sister Frida and her best friend Christopher to a Stark megastore opening in Soho, which is attended by teen supermodel Nikki Howard.
Teen supermodel,
which definitely exists.
That's real.
And British musician Gabriel Luna, who Frida hopes to meet. Protesters attend the event because Stark Megastore has replaced a locally owned grocery store, and one of the protesters shoots a plasma screen with a paintball gun, snapping the wires. M saves her sister from being hit by the falling plasma screen.
I'm already so lost. So lost.
There's this plasma screen falls, but M saves her sister, but like takes the fall, like takes the hit herself. And then it says at almost the same moment, Nikki, the supermodel, faints. A month later, M finds herself in the hospital, trying to recall what had happened. She finds out she is in Nikki's body when she is kidnapped by Lulu Collins, Nikki's roommate, and Brandon Stark, her on-again, off-again boyfriend, and heir to the Stark fortune.
This is insane. I'm obsessed. Absolutely no one was doing it like middle grade authors in like the mid-2000s.
Meg Cabot had a couple slayers.
Yes, I do remember her quite well.
We'll look at the rest of her catalog, but I have to finish reading you this synopsis.
I'm gripped.
You better be. I remember reading this distinctly in like 6th grade humanities class.
I did not read this.
Well, I didn't read it for school, I just read it, but I remember reading it. It wasn't required reading,
What if it was
believe it or not.
required reading?
Where was I? M tries to remember the events that led her to her current state and finds out that not only did she die during the incident, Nikki collapsed from a brain aneurysm at at the exact same time. Honestly, this is a free thinker. How did Meg Cabot come up with this? Her mind, greater than
So insane.
In an effort to save M, her parents agreed to a controversial brain transplant offered by Stark Industries.
Oh.
So we have some. So I actually don't remember that, but I would be curious to reread this as an adult because I feel like
conflict of interest.
I feel like it's an excellent commentary on like the conflation with like capitalism and like healthcare.
Yeah.
I should read this and do an episode on it.
This might be one of the most profound texts of the 21st century.
It came out in 2008. Wow, 2008, a great year. The year Obama went into office.
Amazing year.
And the year that Airheads was released. Her parents agreed to a controversial brain transplant offered by Stark Industries, transplanting her brain into Nikki's body on the condition that M continues Nikki's career as the face of Stark Industries.
Of course, that's the priority.
Which is like such an interesting, like, you sell your soul to the devil situation. Why would her parents even be okay with that?
So she could live.
That's fair.
I actually have major beef with the phrase brain transplant, which isn't even something that's real.
No,
but
it's
like
fake.
Your brain is like you, right? Like your being is like inside your brain, like your personality and all that jazz. So like if you got your brain transplanted into another person's body, like that person would not be getting a brain transplant. You would be getting a body transplant.
That's actually a
and
really
I
good
think
point.
that people just say brain transplant because it like sounds cooler, but like it's a body transplant.
You are your brain.
Exactly.
That's fascinating.
Right?
Well, that's like, that raises like a really interesting ethical question because like, isn't there, or not like ethical, but like, I guess like
philosophical.
yeah, thanks for that word.
You're welcome.
Which is like, are you your brain?
I think you are.
Like, I am wondering, because I feel like some people would argue that you are your soul.
Well, yeah.
Which is not a tangible thing.
It's not like a scientific, I think scientifically speaking, you are your brain.
Your brain.
Yeah.
I kind of like, yeah, I'm wondering.
Which raises the spiritual question of if you got your brain transplanted into someone else's body, what would happen to your soul?
That's a really good question. And I don't think Meg Cabot answers any of those.
And she should be. Come on, Meg. We expect better.
But no, that's really interesting. Isn't there like a phenomenon where people who get like heart transplants take on some personality, like characteristics of the person that got their heart from?
Yes. In fact, one of my favorite books in middle school was about this girl who received a heart transplant
No
from
way.
this girl who died from an ice skating accident.
I read this book.
Yes, and she started having all these memories about the other girl's life.
skating.
Yes.
Is that real or did that just happen in that book? 'Cause
I think that just happened in that book, but I do know that it is a phenomenon that people who get like major organ transplants do like take on traits sometimes of people that they got them from. Yeah.
Because when I was saying that, so I hear that sometimes people get a heart transplant and take on memories of their transplanter. I was actually thinking exactly
Were
of
you
that book.
referencing that book?
Because as soon as you said ice skating, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's one of those things that's like definitely not like doesn't have like much scientific research backing it up, but like I think there's a lot of anecdotal like evidence of that happening, which is really interesting to me.
That is really interesting.
Because that also leads to like maybe you're not just your brain, you know, like maybe.
Right, like maybe some of your personality is stored in your heart.
Yeah, personality is stored in the heart.
Cum is stored in the heart.
Cum is stored in the heart.
And your soul is stored in the balls.
Correct.
Right. That was excellent. Should we? Okay.
That was awesome commentary on Cruel Intentions.
We started that talking about cruel intentions. Let's move on to the next order of business.
Ooh.
We need to talk about, well, this is kind of like a two-part one.
Ooh.
The first part is that I want to share that we did go and visit the Don't Worry Darling house.
Oh my god, yes.
I made you and others go on a bit of a Hollywood tour.
A Hollywood tour.
Around Palm Springs to the Canyon View Estates.
It was like 10 minutes away.
It was like, because everything in Palm Springs is 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
Like, you could probably walk from the tippity top to the tippity bottom of Palm Springs in like 2.5 hours.
I think so. It's not a big city.
No. So we went there and like, it was great. Like, it was a cute house. And
It was adorable. Beautiful neighborhood.
Oh, like the cutest neighborhood ever. And I
Yeah.
would sell my soul to
Like
the devil.
absolutely like I get why they did that.
Like I would too. Yeah. Yeah. I'd also drip water into my mouth from a
If
washcloth.
someone told me that I could live at the Canyon View Estates, you know, like I'd consider it.
I'd consider it to be a housewife.
Drip water in my mouth.
Everybody's
from a
telling me that I'm
washcloth.
crazy. I'm not crazy. I would do it.
Me too.
I would do it. But the other, so Don't Worry Darling, 180, Harry Styles. Mm-hmm. Have you seen him lately?
Actually, no.
Interesting.
Not since the buzz cut, I don't think.
Really? Because he's been out and about again.
Oh, really?
He was at the Manchester United game.
Ooh.
The other, which I think is...
No, actually, now that you mention it, I really haven't seen him lately.
Can I show you?
I haven't
Real quick?
seen old Harry in a while. Yeah, please.
1 second, Taylor Swift posted on Instagram. Oh, it was nothing. She has released like 4 variations of that new album already on vinyl. And they all have a different bonus track on them.
Taylor.
So if you want to listen to all the bonus tracks, you have to buy like
4 vinyls.
You have to buy 4 so far.
That's like
The album doesn't
Taylor.
come out for 2 more months.
Taylor.
I'm like kind of going crazy.
too.
Which the thing is that like she did that with Midnights too. But
Oh yeah, because for a while, like Hits Different and stuff, like you could not hear unless you had
was only
purchased
on the Target vinyl.
the Target exclusive vinyl.
And I was pissed because, okay, this is off topic, but in my opinion,
because everything else is on top.
that's so true. The 3 a.m. tracks on Midnights are the album.
We need to talk about this because the first time I ever heard Midnights, based on like the aesthetics that she had used for like marketing the album,
You thought it was gonna be like 70s?
I thought it was gonna be kind of like a 70s groovy type of vibe.
Me too, because all of her marketing she was doing in that like wood paneled basement, it looked like so 70s.
Yeah, in her outfits and all of that.
Yeah.
Then when I first heard Midnights, not only was it not what I expected, but it was also like not even close to like my favorite Taylor Swift album I had ever heard. I was like, oh, like, okay, like whatever. Then when I heard the 3 a.m. tracks, like a few hours later, I was like, these are so good. I was instantly way more into those songs than I was the entire rest of the album.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and like I ordered one of the like limited edition Jade vinyls.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one
and
on
it
your
came
wall.
with none of the bonus
Yeah,
tracks.
that's
on
fucked
it.
up.
I was so pissed. You want to know why they were good though?
Why?
The bonus tracks is because the like I maybe I'm like oversimplifying it, but like the original tracks, like the like regular tracks were done by Jack Antonoff, but the 3 a.m. tracks were done by Aaron Dessner, who did Evermore.
Yes.
And so like that's
No,
why
that's
I
gotta
like
be
them,
a part
'cause
of
I
it.
love
Yeah.
Evermore.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Midnight's off topic again. Midnight's is actually probably my 3rd favorite Taylor Swift album right now.
Really?
But
Yeah.
I think it has incredible re-listen. It's like very re-listenable.
I think
It has
you're
great
right.
re-listen value.
I think you're right.
Like I go back and listen
But
to
would
those
it
songs.
be your 3rd favorite without the 3 a.m. tracks?
No.
No. Yeah.
It wouldn't be.
Because they're so good.
They're so good. Like High Infidelity.
High Fidelity and Would've, Could've, Should've is like one of my favorite Taylor Swift songs, period.
That's like one of her best songs.
That's one of her best songs.
That I say with confidence.
Yes, I think you're right.
Like it is all of the best parts of her songs.
Yes.
Mixed into one song.
Yeah.
It's like 3 different songs in one.
Yeah.
And you also know that I'm a Glitch apologist.
You love Glitch. I like Glitch too.
I love that
Labyrinth.
song.
I love Labyrinth.
That's a regular track.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh my
Labyrinth
God.
is on the regular album.
I'm spreading misinformation.
Oh, I was gonna show you a picture of Harry Styles.
Oh yeah. That's what this is about.
You give me one twisted tea. Half a twisted tea, tall boy. Oh god, the Wi-Fi is really bad out here. But Harry Styles got a buzz cut.
Yeah. Which people were really upset about.
Yeah, but like now it's like grown out a bit, and it's like, it's not like he doesn't have like the curls.
What is he up to these days?
I have to show you. Harry, do you follow Harry Florals?
No.
That's the only way I know what's going on. It's like a fan page. His sister also just had a baby.
Harry's sister?
Yeah.
Aww. That's so sweet.
Where is a good picture of him?
Oh my god.
Like he kind of looks like just a guy.
He literally looks like just some guy.
Like I kind of wish he would have kept the buzz cut.
Yeah, but because at least a buzz cut's kind of fun and
It's
interesting.
like a thing. Like you're doing a thing.
Exactly, but that looks he looks like a middle school science teacher. Like
That is so true. And I think it's because he's wearing a suit too.
Yeah.
But this is a good picture to show you like what it looks like.
That's literally just some guy. Because
Like-
you're right, like a buzz cut is intentional. And like having long hair is intentional, but that's like just whatever.
People also like did a comparison of like his hairline and they think he got like hair plugs like on the sides here.
Maybe that's why he's been so absent lately. He was getting hair
But
plugs.
people are kind of torn because they're like, okay, like some people are like, it's obvious that he got hair plugs because like the hairline is visibly different.
Uh-huh.
Like in an old picture compared to the new picture, like it is visibly further up on his head. But then the other camp is like, you guys, it actually takes way more than like 3 months to like fully grow in a hair transplant.
True.
But we don't know the truth. But
I love how much internet discourse has been produced over whether or not Harry Styles is bald.
no, and it's beautiful.
It's so funny.
He'll never say.
It's so funny.
He'll never say. Well, I actually have on good authority that he is not bald.
Really?
Yeah, I have. I'll tell you off mic.
Oh.
But well, I actually this leads to my next question or thing to discuss, which is that I saw a really interesting tweet the other day which I think it was like he's obviously just like, that was him like going to a soccer game.
Yeah.
And he had on like a blazer and like pants. Like,
Yeah.
do people dress fancy in England to go to soccer games? Because I thought that was like really fancy.
It seems like something they would do. So like I wouldn't be
So maybe it's like a cultural thing that you like dress up to go to a football game? Or maybe like
Yeah.
Manchester is special?
I know that Manchester's a big deal.
They like love them.
They love them.
Right, but so, right. They do love them.
They love them.
And he's from Manchester, so maybe he was a
is
guest
he?
of honor.
Oh, okay.
But I saw a tweet that was like, now they had a picture of him like from like Harry's House album cycle, and then a picture of him at the Manchester game, and they were like, interesting that now that he's not promoting an album, he's back to looking straight.
Oh!
Which raised some interesting
Scathing.
questions. Yes, because Harry Styles creates so much fodder for the queer baiting discourse.
Yeah.
And, okay, here's what I want to discuss. Because I also have it on good authority that he is not, like, queer at all.
Oh.
I'm actually going to pause it and tell you.
Yeah, please.
So, this person this source that I have.
Yeah.
I feel like Dumois.
Anonymous source.
This anonymous source that I have that I can say is like a source with good authority. Like a good faith source.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, like he like isn't queer at all. Like he definitely only like is into women. But like that's fair.
Yeah.
That's a fair thing to say. But then my next question is it a crime to be a straight guy and paint your nails?
This is so you're so right. You're so right.
It's like I get it why people would be upset.
Yeah.
That he's like quote unquote queer baiting or whatever.
Yeah.
But then my follow-up question would be, okay, like if we're gonna like blow this up big picture, are you allowed to be a straight guy who wears glitter and jewelry?
Yeah, like on the other end of the spectrum, like you could say that it's kind of problematic to think that just because a guy wears like a feather boa and like paints his nails and like wears a fun outfit like means he's queer baiting. Like you can, like straight guys can wear
whatever they want.
Like
that's also what I want. Like so
yeah.
It raises an interesting dilemma.
Yeah.
Because my other thing is like obviously if he's just like puttering around like London, he's not gonna be wearing a feather boa and like a glitter jumpsuit.
No, exactly. Like he was on tour, and so he was dressing for a performance.
Correct.
You know.
So the tweet was scathing.
That was a scathing tweet, and that does bring up a lot of questions.
But my one issue with it was like, yeah, you pulled a picture of him on tour and compared it to a picture of him
At a
off
soccer
of an
game.
album cycle,
Yeah.
off of tour, like not on stage.
Yeah.
Like obviously he's not gonna go out like decked out in like
No.
Elton John clothes
To like a soccer game.
to like a soccer game.
No, like that. Yeah.
And so, because I kind of almost feel like he has like I feel like he has like a stage persona.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like Hannah Montana. You know?
Yeah, he's like Hannah Montana, exactly. Which is that a crime?
It's not a crime.
No.
And no, you're right. Like it.
I'm not trying to. I'm never gonna try to defend a man.
No.
But I just think that.
Like on one hand, it's kind of yucky to capitalize on like queerness as like an aesthetic when you're straight. But on the other hand,
he's never come out and said that he's straight.
he's never come out and said that he's straight.
In fact, he's come out and said the opposite.
And also, like,
which is like
straight
he's not,
people can like wear fun clothes,
right?
You know, like that's not queer baiting.
In fact, it's encouraged.
In fact, it's encouraged, and like it should be normalized for you to not assume someone's sexuality because of like the clothes they wear. Like this was an argument we were having like 15 years ago.
That's what I was just gonna say.
Yeah.
Like this discourse is so tired.
It is
and
very tired.
I'm feeding into it.
Yeah.
But like this is literally like so like this is a discourse we were having on Tumblr in 2014.
Yeah.
Like it's not changed.
Like it's in no way a new thing to be like a man who wears pink isn't automatically gay. Like that's like that sounds ridiculous coming out of my mouth. Like you know.
Right. I don't know.
You know?
Are you familiar at all with the Larry theories?
Liam and Harry?
Louis and Harry.
Louis and Harry, kind of. Wasn't that like a big deal like during the Wattpad era?
It still is.
Oh, it is.
Avery, you would not believe the dedicated, die-hard religious Larry community.
Really?
It's as vibrant as the
I
Gaylors.
was going to say, is it like Gaylor?
It's as vibrant as the Gaylors. And
Okay.
if not more.
Man.
I feel like it's more... it's like it has always been as popular as Gaylor is now.
Oh.
Like, it's crazy. And wait, this reminds me, I read the most insane Reddit post the other day on the Gaylor sub. Okay, because the thing is that every once in a while I check out the Gaylor sub to see if there's any good discourse on there. I haven't actually seen it since the new album announcement because, like, to speak my truth, the Taylor Swift discourse right now is insufferable.
It is.
I can't do it. Bless you. But there was this crazy, like, novel-length Reddit post in the Gaylor sub a couple weeks ago, talking about, like, all of the parallels between, like, Harry Styles, Louis Tomlinson, and Taylor Swift.
Ooh.
And, like, their argument, it was, like, obviously, with peace and love, this was a crazy person writing it. And, like, they were making good points, though. By the end of it, I was like,
crazy
I don't
people
know.
can make good points, is the thing. Sometimes they make the best points.
I'm gonna try to find it right now because, like, and they were starting it. They were like, "Hey guys, like, you need to stay with me." Like,
it's always great when a post starts like that.
Is this there's 2 Gaylor stuff. Let me make sure I'm all right. Okay, Louis, are you tired? Do you need to go to bed?
No, can you pause though while you search for this so I can pee?
100%. Great.
Thanks.
Okay, so I cannot find this Reddit post.
Oh, no.
But basically I'm gonna try to find it. Like, I'm gonna try harder.
Okay.
Because, like, I would love to link it in the show notes because I actually, like, really suggest it for people.
Source material.
Source material for people who are mentally unwell, needing a hobby. All of those people would really love this post. Comparing all of these, like, crazy flags on, like, clothing flagging, and, like, parallels between, like, do you remember when but I remember what spawned this.
Ooh.
I remember what spawned this.
What was it?
It was when Taylor released the track list for the Tortured Poets Society or whatever it is.
Dead Poets Society.
The Dead Poets Society. Yeah. One of the tracks is called But Daddy I Love Him.
Okay.
Harry and Louis used to wear these shirts all the time that said, "But Daddy, I love him."
But isn't that just like a saying?
It is, but, like, so that's what spawned the post. But then, so that wasn't the end, because, yeah, that is obviously just, like, a saying.
Yeah.
But they were, like, then, like, drawing all this other stuff that had been happening since, like, quite literally 2012.
Okay.
Like, it was, like, a decade.
But, and, like, what was the point? Like, were they saying, like...
The point was that, like, okay, I actually don't know what the point was, but if I could guess, the point they were drawing was, like, they were assuming that Taylor Swift herself is queer and is closeted. They were assuming that Harry and Louis were queer and closeted as well. And their kind of, like, thesis of the post, if I had to guess, was, like, all the queer people in Hollywood who are closeted, like, no, it's, like, an open secret, and, like, they all know that about each other, and so, like, they're like communicating in this way, like, as, like, Jesus Christ, it's, like, a secret, like, club. I don't know. It was crazy. I'm gonna have to find it because I actually, like, can't describe it. I shouldn't have even brought it up because now I've just, like, spun it out of control.
It's such a mentally ill thing to write about.
It was really bad.
It's really bad.
Which, like, I can't talk. Like, I'm no better.
Once you get to the point where you're searching for secret patterns in behavior,
I think it's time to take a step back.
I think it's time to go talk to someone.
Do you have, I might cut this out because I don't know. Do you have any thoughts on Taylor and Travis?
No, I really don't.
I kind of, like, don't think of them.
I kind of don't think of them at all.
Well, and I kind of, like, it's like annoying.
It is annoying.
Because he's such a show pony.
Yeah.
And I hate that.
He is a show pony.
I hate a show pony.
And, like, I was, like, obviously, like, Taylor Swift was, like, so, like, everyone was talking about Taylor Swift before this, but I feel like it's made people talk about Taylor Swift in a lot more annoying ways. Because it's, like, made all these people be like, I'm so sick of hearing about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, and it's like, shut up.
It's like, can you pick actually anything else to complain about?
I don't care about the two of them together.
No.
It's spawned a lot of irritating discourse.
I agree.
And I just don't care.
And I, like, kind of, like, This is like irrational, but I hate how much people like them together.
Huh. Yeah.
Like,
I thought there would be a lot more backlash about, like, obviously Taylor Swift can date who she wants, but I felt like there would be a lot more, like, public outcry over, like, Taylor Swift dating this, like, football player, you know? This stupid hunk of meat football player.
Like a meathead. Yeah. 100%. Right, because right. Right. I don't know. Like, there's something about him that I don't like. But I think it's because I, like, fundamentally don't believe in football.
No, I also hate
as,
football.
like, an institution.
And he seems a little bit scary. Like, the clip from the Super Bowl, I wasn't watching the Super Bowl, but, like, when he was, like, yelling at his coach, like, that's scary. I wouldn't want to date a man who yelled at another man like that. Like,
no.
that's kind of, like, icky.
No, and it's like everyone was just like, and like I don't know, like obviously like I'm not there and I don't know it, but everyone's like, that's just like how you like play football.
Is it?
And I'm like, I don't know.
Football's stupid.
like I said, I don't believe in the institution of football.
And I'm with you on that one. I think it's so dumb.
I think it's damaging. And why would we want Taylor Swift to date someone who's gonna have a TBI?
He probably already has several.
one. You're right. Anyway, what was I gonna say? Dude, I don't remember. Let's round things off a little bit because I actually haven't discussed this on the podcast yet, but it was kind of on the back burner, and since I'm here and since we're talking about Taylor anyway, what are your thoughts on the track list names? Because I think they're weird as fuck.
Let me look at
We
them.
need to pull it up.
I hardly even... first of all, I think Tortured Poets Department is a stupid ass name for an album.
She could have done better.
It's just like... It sounds... She ran Dead Poets Society through a thesaurus online.
Right.
Dumb.
Right. The other... Yeah, dude. And... Okay, Kate Kennedy, who's like, I've talked to you about her before, of Be There in 5 podcast.
Yeah.
Had like a good theory of like, she thinks because she's like releasing this in the middle of a tour, and like is kind of like, it's like weirdly off. It's like weirdly not as big of a deal as past Taylor albums, I think, because it's not its own era.
Which is interesting because Taylor Swift is like the biggest deal she's ever been.
Right.
So why is this album release kind of just like whatever?
What Kate Kennedy was saying, which I kind of liked this perspective, was that like maybe it's like completely out of the blue, like totally experimental, and she doesn't know how the audience is going to receive it. So she's like, there's no better time to do it than now when I'm on top of the world. And because I'm already in the middle of a tour, like if this isn't received well,
she doesn't have to like do a tour.
It doesn't really matter. And I like appreciated that perspective. I'd never thought of that before, and it kind of made me more excited because I think I would consider like folklore experimental for Taylor Swift.
Very much so.
And that shit whipped. Like
that's like that's like her best album. It might be her best album. Like you know
that everyone like
you're right. Like compared to everything she had done before, like that was very out of the blue.
Right.
But,
so I'm like hoping for like a hyper pop like dream pop thing.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, but the track.
I think that's really.
Did you look up the track names?
Yeah, I'm.
Fresh Out the Slammer, like, actually made me physically, like, bristle when I read it.
I'm not loving it. I'm not. Who's afraid of little old me?
It's like...
It's kind of cringy.
No, it is cringy. It is cringy. What is it? Like, my boys only plays with broken toys?
My boy only breaks his favorite toys.
What the fuck is that?
These sound like all... First of all, like,
what's with like the Panic at the Disco ass names?
Yes, like, it's giving like early 2000s like pop punk album. Like this is very weird.
And then
my boy only breaks his favorite toys. Fortnite, Florida with 3 exclamation marks.
I actually have thoughts on Florida.
Oh please.
Florida, Tampa was her first. That was the first set of shows she played after the Joe Alwyn breakup news broke. And so if we're under the assumption that this is like a Joe Alwyn like breakup album, that would hold true. And also when she was releasing 1989 Taylor's version, she had all of those with the Sunrise Boulevard like the Sunrise Boulevard edition.
Oh, yeah.
And that's also in Florida. Like, I'm wondering, like, what, like, because I know that bitch doesn't hang out in Florida.
No, there's no way.
Like, I need to know why she's so excited. Like, why is she 3 exclamation points excited about Florida?
Like, why is she so excited about Florida?
Like, I don't know.
Yeah, this is a really interesting track list. Like,
Guilty as sin? Question mark.
what the fuck? This is very weird.
I can do it with a broken heart. The smallest man who ever lived. I know that So Long London is a Joe Owen slander song.
Absolutely. That's like the one song on here where it's very clear what it's about.
Did you hear the Fortnite AI leak? Like, people are like debating on whether or not it's like AI or whether it's like a leak.
Oh no.
It's on TikTok. It's pretty good.
I gotta go listen to that.
Yeah, it goes like, we never made it real, never made it right.
It goes like,
Take
take me to the Xbox to play Fortnite
Fortnite
today. That's how it actually is gonna go.
Just wiped out Tomato Town.
I haven't heard that yet, but I'll listen to that.
Yeah, interesting. But the most recent, this is probably gonna be the last thing. We've been recording for an hour and 4 minutes.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
And every time I talk, but the thing is that when I talk about Taylor Swift on this podcast, I get a bunch of downloads. Like, I don't know. So I'll take it because I love talking about Taylor Swift. On the newest, okay, here's the 2 things that I'm gonna say. On one of the new album like editions that she released, like the artwork says like, you don't get to tell me about sad, which I think is just like a little bit tone deaf, considering that she's like a billionaire pop star.
Yeah, what?
Like, I'm not saying that she's not allowed to be sad, but I think that was like a bit of a tough choice to put on your vinyl.
She's not the world authority on suffering.
Suffering, exactly.
You know?
Right, so that would be the wrong way a bit, but I'm willing to look past
Yeah.
it, like most things.
Yeah.
Like, actually, until Taylor Swift, like, kills somebody, I'm gonna just,
That's
like...
the breaking point.
I think that's my breaking point.
Yeah, because I mean, like, we've already looked past so much. You know, like, what's one more thing?
That's right. You know what I mean? Like...
You don't get to tell me about
sad. Like, it's just so funny, though, isn't it?
Taylor.
But the newest, bonus track on, like, the newest release is called The Albatross. And
I have heard about this.
Okay, and apparently an albatross is, like... a common metaphor for like someone who like holds you down and like doesn't allow you to like fly.
Yeah,
because
there's like this really like famous like old timey poem about this.
Correct.
I can't remember what it's called, but I read it for school
yeah,
once. Yeah,
because like an albatross, there's something about like for the first like 6 like it's either months or years. I think it's months. They don't land. They just fly and fly and fly and fly.
Really?
Yeah. And so I think the like thought is that like, oh, like an albatross like keeps you like tied down.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like interested about that.
That's
because
interesting.
That's the Joe Alwyn theory, right? Is that he was like not letting her be Jewel.
Like he was putting her in the basement.
Right,
Yeah,
the penthouse
of his heart.
So
yeah.
that one to me like does line up with Joe Alwyn theories as well.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you mind? You know what?
What?
I should patch you in sometime from Oregon, and we should talk more about Joe Alwyn.
I would
theories.
love to talk about Joe Alwyn on the pod.
I know you would.
Could you patch me in?
I'll patch you in.
Are you technologically capable?
Would you be down once the album is released and we've listened to it a couple times? Could I patch you in and could we talk about it?
Oh, I would love that.
Do you like
I would love to do some music commentary.
Do you like a little like review, not a review, but just like a little discussion?
Yeah, that would be great.
Okay,
yeah,
incredible.
that sounds. You know, I love that. I love that.
Okay, so look forward to that, everybody.
I'm really excited.
I've been teasing so many episodes that haven't come out. I've been teasing the Fast and the Furious episode since the first one. And me and Montana still need to do that. We need to take notes.
And I need to listen to that because I've never seen Fast and Furious. So
You need to watch that.
I know.
We should watch one.
Maybe we should.
We should watch Love Is Blind tonight. I need to watch more. Okay, well, do you want people to follow? Do you want to plug anything? You want to plug anything?
Well, I don't really have anything to plug.
Okay.
I'm a simple girl.
You're not really on the gram too much.
I'm not really on the gram too much. I'm not really on anything too much.
No, you're not. You have a funny Twitter, but
I have a funny Twitter, but no one follows me.
no one follows you. So maybe you should plug it.
Follow my Twitter, everybody. I'm so funny.
Her Twitter is. I actually do find your tweets to be hilarious. You tweet like once every 6 to 8 weeks.
But when I do, it's good.
and it's a banger.
Well, and I've got years worth of content in the drafts.
You do.
My
You do.
Twitter handle, it's Avery Cat 26. It's spelled AVERYKAT26.
Incredible.
My name is Inflatable Tube Man on
That's
there.
a classic. That's a classic.
So yeah, if you love good comedy, give me a follow.
Yeah, if you're into comedy, like really cerebral stuff.
Really cerebral
You're
stuff.
going to follow Avery on Twitter.
X. On X.
Formerly Twitter.
Sorry, Elon.
Yeah, we don't want to hurt his feelings. You don't get to tell him about sad.
Elon Musk album release when?
Fortnite featuring Elon Musk.
It would be featuring Elon Musk.
Okay, we're signing off. Please leave us a 5-star review.
Us.
Please leave us if you like the episode, write us a review. We didn't have any 5-star reviews to read on this episode, so let's change that for next week. I'd love to read a new 5-star review on the pod. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, or follow the show, or whatever the fuck you're supposed to do for a podcast. And I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.